All right, to set up our rudiments of animation workflow, we need an assets file and a stage file, but we start with the assets and we open both of them up, right? The only reason I can have a stage file is because I have enough assets to build different frames. So I've gotten this far. But what I'm thinking now is I want a little bit more between frame 1 and frame 2 of my storyboard. These are called in-betweens or tweens. Because I want to spend some time with my Zeus before the lightning strikes. So I'm going to take the lightning asset out. Doesn't mean I delete it. It means I just turn it off. And now I'm going to play with the eyes a little bit. And there's so many ways I can do this. Because I built these eyes as different layers, I can duplicate them. And then I can play with them. So in this case, maybe I tilt this eye a little bit. And then I tilt this eye a little bit. This is why you always make duplicates so you can play with your assets. I'm going to do them at different angles. And the reason it's nice to have the stage is I can see, okay, that's what I have. Now it's to this. So it's changing. And then if I want that as a frame, what can I do? I work my animation workflow. I go to my topmost visible layer. I hold down Option. I say Layer, Merge Visible. Not Merge Group, Merge Visible. While holding down Option. Then Command A, select it all. Command C, copy it all. Move to the stage. Command V. Now, here's the thing. This is what I've done. This, then this, then this. And maybe I want it in that order. Or maybe I want it in this order. Where it goes this, then this, then this. Right? These are the kind of things you can decide. And maybe I want to do it in this order. Make a duplicate of that frame on my stage. And now I have it do this. This, 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 this. Right? So setting it up so that you can move your setup over to your stage is what I'm here to help you with today. Then you have to deselect and delete that merged layer. And now I can play with it again. I'm going to duplicate all those eyes. Turn off the one below it. And now I'm going to play with the eyes again. Maybe I'll play with, let's see, the movement of them. So maybe I'll transform and flip this horizontally. Right? And then I'll do that with these. Transform and flip horizontally. Oh, except this one. Keep that in the same place. Go back in my history. So it's all understanding how you can play with your assets. So let's see. Not that one, but this one and this one. Transform, flip horizontal. Does it look different? It does. Right? So now how do I save all of those? I go to my topmost visible layer, hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible. While holding down Option, merges it all in a non-destructive way. Command A to select it all, Command C to copy it all. Click on the stage, Command V to paste it all in. So now I've done little eye wiggles. And maybe I don't even want this one. Maybe I want to go right from this to this to this. No. Yeah, I like having all of them. Okay. So then the lightning strikes. So now I've already built up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames just to get between here and here. That's called in-betweens. All right, so I have built 5 frames out of limited assets, right? Just moving the eyes around and then introducing lightning. So now I'm at this point in my animation. So what can I do next? Well, I'm going to deselect and clear the chamber. And I'm going to set up my next lightning strike, which is going to be, let's see, over here. Now, instead of just moving this layer, I am going to duplicate it because I always want to be able to build any of my previous frames. And this one I'm going to make come in front, maybe a little bit bigger. So I'm going to stretch it. And Stephen, just let me know when you have set up that first frame, then I can help you build your stage. All right, now, do I like how that looks? No, that the lightning isn't strong enough there, so I'm going to move it in front of everything else. Right? It's like, oh, it's getting a little close. Right? And then, of course, when the lightning appears, what else happens? Everything brightens up. In fact, maybe it even brightens up more because this one's closer, so I'll duplicate that. Not the lightning, but the light effect. Now it's even brighter. Or I can always just increase the opacity of it. Yeah. Okay, so this is my next frame. So Command A. Nope. I have to merge it first. Hold down Option. Go to my topmost visible layer. Right? Option, Layer, Merge Visible. Then Command A to select it all, Command C to copy it all, and then Layer, change to the stage, and then Command V to paste it in. Make sure it's on top. Okay, so but going from this to this is too sudden. So what can I do? Well, I can take these and duplicate them and put them in between. And I'll kind of run that animation backwards. Or maybe just do 2. So now it's like this, 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 right? And now maybe I take all 3 of these, duplicate all 3 of them, and then move them up above. So that's what I mean. You can, out of just a few assets, you can output a lot of frames. Yep. It's a good way to go. All right, so now I've already made all of these assets. And now I can test my animation. So just to show you, from all of these little puppet assets, I'm going to clear this one. Before I keep building, I want to see what I've got so far. And it's all setting up for the next row when we're going to have the big animation, or the big lightning and the big transformation happen. So how do we test an animation? Well, you can do it by clicking on the eyeballs, but it's hard to click on the eyeballs and look to see what's happening. So there is a tool within Photoshop called the timeline tool. You only ever do it on the stage, and you only do it for tests. So we go to Window, and then we go click on Timeline. And then it's going to give us this option. So this is important, because all of you are going to need this, and this is new. So let me have all eyes on this for a second. I'm going to turn it off and turn it on again. So when you're ready on your stage, you have enough frames, you think you want to see how it works in a time-based way where you're controlling how long each frame is shown. What you do is you go up to Window on the stage and you click on Timeline. Timeline's going to give you the option for either a frame animation or a video timeline. That's for video editing and syncing up with sound or other timing. We are doing a frame-by-frame animation. So we click on that and we click on it again and it will show us this menu. So this is the timeline window. Window options are always in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to click on the window options and we're going to say make frames from layers. Now frames, think of them as the animation frames where we can set the timing. But those frames are linked to our layers. That's why we only ever do it in the stage. And I already have 11 frames, right? 11 layers. Notice how it says 0 seconds underneath all of them? So if I hit play, it's going to just go through really quick. Of course, that's more than 0 seconds. 0 seconds would be nothing. But this is the time-based part of the project. If I hold down Shift, click on the first one, hold down Shift, click on the last one, it will select them all, just like selecting a whole stack of layers. Then if I click on the arrow next to the second timing, it's called the frame delay, and set it, and I usually use a default of 0.3 seconds, about 3 frames a second, it will set it for all of them. You do have the ability to make it last longer for some. So for instance, I'm going to make this one, nope, not that. I'm going to make just this one, deselect. I'm going to make it a full second, just so you can see. Because this is one of those advantages of digital versus analog animation, is I can make a different frame delay for every frame. And then when I play it, I can just watch it and see how that works. And I'm realizing that's a little fast for like the wiggling of the eyes. Looks a little unnatural. So instead I'm going to take all of them. This is why you test it. And I'm going to say other, and I'm going to try 0.4 seconds. So a little bit slower than 3 frames per second. And then for the ones where the lightning is there, I'm going to make that last a little bit less time. I'm going to make that 0.3 seconds. All of your stories are going to be different. Some of you are going to want consistent frame rates for all of it. It just depends. Okay, now let's see what that looks like. And the eye movement works, but it doesn't work that it's so even, right? So maybe like here, I make that more like a full second. And then here again, I make this one a full second. And this is called animating on the stage, because you're really deciding on the timing of things. And that works, except I want it to be longer here as well. All right. So you're seeing the power of it, and you can kind of test it and see what's going on. And I'm realizing I don't need as much eye movement, right? In fact, it might be nice if this one is more like 0.8 seconds. And this one is more like 0.6. So it just feels more natural. And this one's more like 0.6. Now remember, this is me just getting started. Okay, now here's the problem. Yeah, now all of that seems a little bit more believable, and he's a little bit more surprised by these animation strikes. Okay, here's the problem though. If I were to add my next frame from my assets and put it in, it would overwrite all of these, because this is what you do at the end. But what I can do is make a screen